Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. I don't know what number this podcast is, but it's. Oh, I see two people come in. Hello. Let me adjust my light so you can see me a little bit better. Hopefully, you can see a little bit better with that light. So, welcome, everybody. I don't have any guests today. I'm working on getting some more people to come in. I had a great 2 weeks. Had Claudio on last Thursday. I'm just looking at my calendar here. And I had Joseph Michael on Friday, and we talked about a science fiction book. We had Mike Pickett on, who he talked about his book that he had out. And we also talked to David Wellen. And it was a Tuesday. Can't read who I had, but I had a few people. It's just me here today. See what's going on in the comic world. Must be something exciting going on. Yeah, so if you got any questions you'd like to mention here, just go ahead and say hi or yeah. Let's see what's going on. Godzilla vs. King Kong director Adam Wingard shares new art as release delay even further. Well, nothing's going to be coming out while they still have movie theaters closed up. So, yeah. But the artwork looks pretty cool here. Just looking at some more stuff here with it. Oh, this is just pictures that were done before. We have two updates on Godzilla vs. Kong. One is a little disappointing. First director Adam Wingard shared a closer look at the film's slate in a new photo. Wingard, it says, have shared it on Instagram, but the clapperboard snapshot comes courtesy of Kajaji news outlet on Twitter. You can make out the attached concept art on the slate better. Their positions flipped. It's yet another pitch from a different angle of Kong rearing back to punch Godzilla. The images bear a resemblance to the blue and orange banner released by the studio and Playmates that was already online in a cropped form. The full banner was officially shared months ago. On the slate, unidentified person stands in the lower left corner of the platform with a railing. They could be standing on part of an aircraft carrier where Kong decks Godzilla on the roof in Hong Kong. Either way, the shot is probably in the movie. And the slate might have been the final one Wingard posted with an Instagram photo when filming wrapped, since the scene written down is 18.6C. That assumption is reasonable. The film is in the can, reshoots are done, and moreover, they have found the composer to strike all the right chords. And Mollifs, Junkie XL, who has scored some of the biggest blockbusters in the last 5 years, including Mad Max, Fury Road, Batman v Superman, Deadpool, and Justice League. In the last year, XL has been responsible for the original music of Sonic the Hedgehog, Scoob, Arata, Battle Angel, and Terminator Dark Fate. He has the right resume for the Conclusions of Legendaries, that's for sure. So, yeah. Unfortunately, we are going to be waiting even longer to see that clash. After a few delays, Warner Brothers settled on November 20th, but that was before COVID-19. The fear was continuing shutdown of a movie theaters during the pandemic would go on long enough to cause delays. And it would and then that would came true. Warner Brothers reshuffled its release dates once more, as a consequence of Wonder Woman 1984 again bumped into October. Godzilla vs. Kong was moved to May of next year, replacing the also delayed Matrix 4 in the Wustix film former slot. So yeah, more delays. Yeah, it'll eventually come out. Superheroes who sadly died in 2019. That's sounds like it's pretty funny. Let's see here. Just trying to find something that's really interesting to talk about here. A legendary Batman writer and editor, Denny O'Neil, has died. I've never met the guy, but I've read a lot of his books, a lot of his comic books. It says here, Denny O'Neil, one of the most influential minds to shape the lore of Batman in the 20th century, is dead at the age of 81. According to his family, O'Neil passed away from natural causes during the night on June 11th. He is best known for his work on Batman, starring in the 1970s with a team of editors Julius Schwartz and renowned artist Neil Adams. The trio was responsible for bringing the Dark Knight back to his dark roots and out of the doldrums of the campiness synonymous with Adams West series and the Super Friends cartoon. An editor of DC's Batman titles for 15 years, O'Neil wrote some of the more notable ones, such as Batman, Detective Comics, and Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. He was also instrumental in the creations of Ra's al Ghul, Talia, Dr. Leslie Tompkins, Azrael, and Richard Dragon. The first three became staples of Batman, the animated series, and he helped modernize Joker and the Two-Face while overseeing the murder of Jason Todd by the former in the Death of the Family story. The decision to kill Robin met with some public pushback from fans. O'Neil and Adams spearheaded revivals of other heroes, including the infamous pairing of Green Lantern, Green Arrow. The two traveled the country as best friends and a bit of an odd couple. Green Lantern was square by the book cop, where Arrow was more of a free spirit liberal. Green Lantern, Green Arrow did not last, but it was around long enough to shock readers with the revelations of GA's sidekick, Speedy, as it was a heroin addict. At one point, O'Neil tried to reinvent Wonder Woman as a formidable butt kicker without powers. The take didn't sit well with Gloria Steinem and was canceled. Other DC books to his credit were Justice League, The Question, Armageddon, 2001, and the one-shot Superman vs. Muhammad Ali. O'Neil once worked for Marvel too, penning Amazing Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Daredevil. He was one who brought Frank Miller into Man Without Fear. At Marvel, O'Neil helped create Madam Web, Ironmonger, Obadiah Stane, Lady Deathstrike, Hydro Man. He's also credited with the concept for Transformers and naming Optimus Prime. He piled his trade later for TV, writing episodes of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, Logan's Run, Superboy, and Batman, the animated series, both which streamed on DC stream on DC Universe. O'Neill shared his knowledge in the how-to book of DC writing comic books and opened up about his experience in comics in the documentaries Comic Book Superheroes Unmasked and the Legends of the Dark Knight. Aside from writing and editing, he taught at Manhattan School of Visual Art and was on the Heroes Initiative's board of directors. His legacy and contributions were celebrated in 2019 when May 25th was declared Dennis O'Neill Day in Phoenix, and again in 2018 when Jimmy Carter Presidential Library made him key speaker at the Comic Book and Social Justice Weekend. Creators and organizers have been paying homage to the legend on Twitter. So yeah, it's a great legend to be gone. So yeah, I saw the news on Facebook a couple of days ago. So that would have been, I would have seen it on Thursday or Friday. I would have seen that. So yeah, it's too bad he's gone. Yeah, never met him. Frank Miller wrote on Twitter. He said, "Rest in peace, Danny O'Neill. I first came aware of him reading the Batman comics he made with Neil Adams. These stories opened up the wider world of classic adventures for me." San Diego Con. Legendary DC writer and editor Danny O'Neill brought a social conscience to comics. His 1970s Batman revamp set the precedent for the future of the character we all know and love. As an honored guest and 2014 Eisner Award Hall of Fame inductee, he will be dearly missed. Yeah, even DC is mentioned here. DC mourns the passing of Denny O'Neill, who co-created some of DC's and the industry's most important comics between Batman and telling thoughtful stories that address addition. Tongue is not working today. Addition and racism. He told the stories that we need to hear. His voice will be missed. So yeah. That's sad he's gone. Now there's rumors here that Beyonce is in talk to join the Black Panther 2 movie. A new rumor details that pop star Beyonce is in talk to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe, at least 2 projects for Disney. The rumor comes from The Sun, whose detail she is in advanced talks to sign a $80 million pound. I think it's 80. It's in British pounds anyway. It's 80 million deal with Disney for 3 major projects. They do report that one of these projects is Black Panther 2, and she will appear on the soundtrack for that film. The rumor does not make it clear if she might be acting as well as appearing on the soundtrack. Beyonce provided the voice of Nalia in Disney's live-action remake The Lion King. She's also performed the song "Spirit" for the film. The source told The Sun Beyonce has become a major player for Disney and is the perfect fit for the brand. The sources continued, she's working on a number of projects for them, including voicing Nalia for the reboot of The Lion King. Now they're keen on securing her for more projects. Disney has put forward a deal worth around $80 million, which will secure Beyonce for 3 major projects. including the Black Panther sequel, the source added. The source did elaborate that one of the other projects might be narration and voiceover work for the upcoming documentary for Disney Plus. They stated as part of the deal, they are trying to get her team to agree to have Beyonce voicing some of the new documentaries coming to Disney Plus. The source continued, after the success of having Megan Mackey voicing the film Elephant on platform, they have projects coming up which align perfectly with Beyonce's brand. Finally, they concluded the negotiations are still ongoing, but the final decisions are being trashed now. Senior film writer at Variety indicates that the rumor is false. He wrote on Twitter, despite overwhelming excitement at the project, sources tell me there's no big Disney film deal for Beyonce, and she will not contribute to the soundtrack for Black Panther 2. Donnelly added, as a self-professed proud member of the Disney family, it is likely she'll work with them again at some point. Yeah, so yeah, anybody excited about that? About Beyonce being in a Marvel movie and Black Panther? And there's going to be an Alien 5 coming out. And here's one about the Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol faces criticism and backlash for featuring a positive portrayal of police. Paw Patrol, the massively popular Nickelodeon Junior cartoon featuring a crew of dogs in search of rescue positions, has come under fire after voicing their support for Black voices, as critics take issue with the show's positive portrayal of law enforcement. On June 2nd, in an effort to show their support for an ongoing protest and discussion surrounding the death of George Floyd, the official Paw Patrol Twitter account announced they would be muting our content to June 7th to give access to Black voices to be heard so we can continue to listen and further our learning. The message of support for the Black community was soon met with backlash as our activists criticized the character of Chase, the German Shepherd police officer, member of the Paw Patrol, alleged that his role serves as a police propaganda. With some asserted that these calls for Paw Patrols to be removed Chase were humorous. The campaign was reported in earnest by the New York Times, who outright stated it is a joke, but also not, noting that the effort to publicize police brutality also means banishing the good cop archetype. Amanda West writes, it's a joke, but it's not. As the protests against racial police violence enter their third week, the charges are mounting against fictional cops too. Even big-hearted cartoon police dogs, or maybe especially big-hearted cartoon police dogs, are unnoticed. She continues, the effort to publicize police brutality also means banishing the good cop archetype, which reigns on both television and in viral videos of the protests themselves. Paw Patrol seems to be harmless enough, and that's the point. The movement rests on standing that cops do plenty of harm. Hess adds, the protests arrived in the midst of the pandemic that has alienated Americans from their social ties, family lives, and workplaces. New and intense relationships with continents have filled the gap, and now our quarantine consumptions are being reviewed with an urgently political eye. The reckoning has come for newspapers, food magazines, Bravo reality shows and police procedurals. Intentionally promising a return in June 7th of writing the Paw Patrol account has not been posted. Any updates since their commitment to amplifying the Black voices. So that's what's going on. Hey, Sean. Yeah, I hope not too. Yeah, you think they're trying to get her to play Storm? Wow. Yeah, I didn't think of that when I was reading that. Yeah, like I don't know. I can't see her as Storm. Yeah, maybe people will complain that she's not dark enough. I don't know. This is interesting. Aquaman and Dune actor Jason Momoa endorses destruction of property, encourage rioters to destroy statues. Aquaman actor Jason Momoa endorses the destruction of property and encourages rioters to tear down statues. In a post to his Instagram earlier this week, Momoa shared a video of rioters tearing down a statue to British merchant Philadelphus and former member of Parliament Edward Colson. The video shows the statue being torn down with rioters, then cheering its destruction. Momoa described the video as amazing. He went on to quote Black Lives Matter's activist Sean King, who said Edward Colson was a monster who bought, sold, and traded Africans, human beings, and forced them into slavery until they died. King added, "Nobody who did this should be honored. It is terrorism. Now, then, he should never had that statue. I'm proud of the activists and organizers in Bristol, in the United Kingdoms, who tore this down. Tear them all down, everywhere. I support this. Wait until you see the next video." Momoa also endured the Black Lives Matter movement in a separate Instagram post. He wrote, Black Lives Matter. This is how home does it. He continued, proud of my people, standing for what matters. HPD estimated about 10,000 total, 0 arrests, no one hurt, all aloha. Peaceful protests, aloha. Black Matter is a controversial organization that has activated for the dismantling and defunding of police departments across the nation. In fact, the DC chapter Black Lives Matter has advocated for dismantling the police since 2016. The National Black Lives Matter organization also notes they are self-reflective and do the work required to dismantle cisgender gender privileges and uplift Black trans folk, especially Black trans women, who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans anti-galistic violence. They also advocate disrupting the Western, describing nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as an extended family and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. Momoa also came out against President Donald Trump. He shared a video of an organization called Republican Voters Against Trump to his Instagram. He commented that the video says Republicans voters against Trump. Wow, can't believe this has happened right on Republicans. And then it says Jason Momoa reprised his Jason Momoa will reprise his role as Aquaman in Aquaman 2. He will also appear in HBO's Max upcoming director's cut of Justice League. He'll next be seen on the big screen as Duncan Idaho in Dune. What do you make of Momoa's endorsement for crime rioting and the controversial Black Lives Matter organization? Yeah, so that's interesting. We're in the interesting times. This is kind of this is there's one here about it says here fans create petition to bring back Hartley Sawyer back to the Flash. It has been a few days since Hartley Sawyer has been fired from his gig on the Flash after old tweets were deemed derogatory remarks by the CW. Still, his portrayal of Ralph Dimby, the elongated man, has its fans who want him rehired. A petition to Warner Brothers has started on change.org to get them to reverse the CW's decision. It has garnered over 7,000 supporters as of today. The description, which reads the following, points out that the comments were made nearly a decade ago. Hartley Sawyer played the elongated man on The Flash and was fired over racist remarks or comments made 6 to 8 years ago. I believe Hartley should not be fired over something that happened years ago and now is now a different person. Help me bring him back to the Flash TV series. A top comment agrees, saying that anyone could get fired now. Everyone has said some offensively. Either they've meant it to be offensive or not. He shouldn't have been fired because of past decision. That was popular to do at the time. If that's the case, every actor, actresses who post like that should be fired too. Really having a bad time with my tongue this morning. This afternoon. Sawyer's derogatory remarks were exposed by actress Sakai Jackson, who tweeted screenshots of his old post. The revelation was met with swift dismissal and impassionate statement by producer Eric Wallace. It reads in part, "This morning, many of you learned that Hartley Sawyer will not be returning for season 7 of The Flash. Concerning his social media tweets, they broke my heart and made me mad as hell. And they're indicative of the larger problem of our country, because at present our country still accepts and protects the continuous harassment, unconscious or otherwise, terrorizing and brutalizing of Black and brown people, which is far too often fatal. That's why our country is standing up once again and shouting enough and taking this to the streets to bring change." Wallace went on to say he committed to bringing permanent change to the work environment here on The Flash, and that he will hire more Black and brown writers, directors, actors, and producers of all genders to work on the show and tell Flash stories. Wallace concluded by mentioning George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor before stating murder is not democracy, Semitic, and institutional, while white privilege is not equality. He also added that the tag Black Lives Matter. So yeah, I agree with you, Sean. There's actors who have done far worse. Look at what about Mel Gibson? He did a lot when he was drunk and stuff like that. You know, he should. He. I think he's working on some project right now. I heard somewhere. Yeah, they shouldn't. You know, they really should give him a second chance. Like I like this guy that was on the Flash, Hartley Sawyer, Ralph Digby. He had, you know, even his character in the series went through changes. You know, he was a bad cop, and then they came to Barry and said, "Look, you got to accept him that he's changed. He's not the same person he was before." And this is interesting. There's a petition going on created to have RWBY. I'm not sure what's RWBY, and Dragon Ball Super Vic, VA Vic Magnola appear at Anime Matsuri. I met him this year at Kitchener Comic Con. I know he was something about there was some accusation of him either raping somebody or some. I don't know the whole story on him, but when I met him at the Kitchener Comic Con, he seemed like a fairly nice guy, and there was quite a few people that were pretty upset that he was coming to the Kitchener Comic Con. It says a petition has been created to have RWBY, Full Metal, and Dragon Ball Super voice actor Vic Magnola. If I pronounce his last name wrong, I'm sorry. I do have problems saying certain words. The change.org petition was created by Annie Brooks and will be sent to Anime Matsuri, John Lay, and Denise, I think it is pronounced Denise Lay, and Brooks begins the petition writing. For many years, you have served the anime community in Houston. Now we ask you to help us in this request to have the clear fan favorite Vic Magnolia return home to Houston once more. It continues, we're a united M&A community. We have felt that such actions brought against Vic are unjust and repugnant to the industry as whole. As such, we felt that actions from those who have claimed to have our community's best interests have instead hurt every facet, from convention owners like yourselves to the artists and vendors losing foot traffic he constantly brings to conventions. No other anime actor does. The petition adds, we hope that you'll see with the amount of fans signing below, coupled with the fact that these most vocal distractors are being exposed and their creators discredited, that bring an actor who genuinely cares for us, the fans, when we need happiness and hope, the true escape that shows that AM provides. That brings Vic Magnolia back from 2020 is the right move. You have the chance to set things right for all of us in the industry. Help us, Anime Matsuri. Stand with us today. The petition concludes. The petition has currently been signed for 1,403 people. YouTuber Nick Ricky Taya encouraged his followers to support the petition and campaign for Anime Matsuri to have Magnola as a guest. Rekieta stated that I'm asking, and this is a big ask for me. because I don't do this. I never do this until today. This is the first time I've ever signed a change.org petition. This is the first I don't do it. I don't sign petitions very often. So I know for me to ask you this is a big thing because it's not something I would normally do. He continued, this is something I believe. I believe in Vic. I believe in anime Matsuri. I believe in this anime community coming together to put down all the negativity and nonsense being thrust into these shows. We got to get rid of that element. That needs to be exercised like the cancer it is. Rick T adds, anime conventions are places where people go to escape, to have fun, to meet people, and to share common interests with a community, with vendors who make things that they have may have never seen before, and just generally enjoy the hobby. So, have you, yeah, Sean, Wahlberg was a blinded man. Will Smith, blinded man with a gang. Plenty of actors have been physically abused. Yeah. Yeah. But the thing with Vic, like I said, I did meet him. He actually posed with my Max Burger comic. He was a very nice guy to talk to. Don't know too much about him. I don't watch a lot of anime, so I and I don't know what I don't know how the whole thing with Vic happened. So I know a lot of people who came to the Kitchen Comic Con was very upset that he was going to be there. A lot of them didn't want to come. They bashed the Kitchen Comic Con. Now, Kitchen Comic Con was a free event, which has been going on for many years in Kitchener, and they're free to. It's free to get in. It takes place at City Hall in Kitchener. I'm sure the vendors, they get charged for tables and stuff, but it's a free event. People can walk in, and it's great to promote comics. I know the guy that runs it. He has some people that are attacking him, not because Vic was there, but for other reasons. Ron does his best. I've known Ron for a long time. He's got his heart in the right place for doing comic book conventions and stuff. I try to show up. Sometimes things do get out of hand at conventions, like organizing and stuff like that. And we all do make mistakes. I know some people that aren't going to go back to the conventions. Yeah, hopefully things will calm down soon. Yeah, well, the pandemic, but I was talking to a friend of mine while we were texting back and forth. I had to switch phones. Been having some problems with my little BlackBerry Curve. It still works. The problem is I'm not getting any ringtones coming through. I don't know if I might have hit a button or something and turned off the ringtone. It's not even if I get text in, it's not telling me. So I switched over back to my my Curve. Everybody's going to probably say, well, why didn't you go and get a new Apple phone or something? But I'm quite happy with BlackBerry. I'm Canadian. It came from the next town over from where I'm from. It came out of Waterloo. So I kind of like to support some local. And they did have the best security around for service and stuff. So it's smaller. It's a lot smaller than the. Let me see if I can get both of them up together. See if I can get. Hopefully, I'm not going to lose people by showing Blackberries. And look at the difference in sizes of the screen and stuff. This one here. This one here has a touch screen, where this one is a tracking ball. So, yeah, it looks like it scared people away, Sean. We had like up to 3 people watching. I don't know if there's still people watching. It's hard to tell. The only way to tell is if there's so many comments in here. When I had it on Facebook, I could see people joining. But with Streamline, I don't see if anybody's signed in and stuff. So I got some new software. I'm going to try Clip Studio for coloring. I've downloaded I do have Painter. But it's an elementary or an educational software. It says you can't use it for commercial purposes. So I downloaded the latest version of Painter. It's got a 30-day trial. But I'm looking at the price. It's I think it's around the $600 mark to buy the software. Not sure. Well, I could get it, but I'm thinking that the Painter 7 I have, will do fine, and then I'll try the Studio Clip and see how that works. But you get used to one program. Don't like mixing it up because you know how to. Certain trying to think of the name now. Sorry, my brain is going blank here. Layers. Like on Painter, to paint, when you make a layer, you call it a cell, and you can paint right over on the black, and it won't affect the black that's underneath. I go to move to something else, I might have to make a whole bunch of layers for it to work. See if there's any more stuff here. Yeah, like I said, back to the Vic guy. He's a really nice. He's a really nice guy. Oh, that's kind of cool. Graham Nolan has a Bane creator Graham Nolan introduces the Chunu, I think that's how you pronounce it, in new Indiegogo campaign. Graham Nolan, the creator of DC Comics villain Bane, has launched a new Indiegogo campaign for the Chunu. On Indiegogo, Nolan describes the Chunu will follow the story of Paul Jackson, the son of former Buffalo Chief of Police Jimmy Jackson. Jimmy Jackson was the chief of police in 1977, the year the massive winter storm struck the city. It paralyzed the entire region, and 23 people died. Their deaths were attributed to the storm, but Jimmy told his son Paul there was something else hiding within the storm, something evil, something evil and hungry. That something is the Chinu, a giant frozen creature of Native American lore that comes off the ice to eat the hearts of its victims in search of the warmth it will never have. And as Paul follows in his father's footsteps and becomes a police officer, the tales of his father told him from the winter of '77 are being brought back to life. The Chinu has returned. Nolan details that the Chinu will be 48 pages in length. It's black and white with gray tones and blood red. However, there is a stretch goal that includes a bonus story entitled "The Chinu in the Blizzard of '77." Nolan also hints there might be more pages added depending on the stretch goals reached. Other stretch goals include your name printed in each book, a collection of trading cards, and a Chinook bookmark. You can see the trading cards below. The 48 graphic novel and unlocked stretch goals are available to backers for $25. It comes signed by Graham Nolan. The other backers options include variant cover by Greg Wright and a meet it's worth for dinner poster. There is also an option that includes 5 random comics signed Graham Nolan. He teases that they could include Detective Comics, Hawkworld, Power of the Atom, Spider-Girl, Bane, Conquest X-Men, Forever Marvel Adventures, Blackhawks, and Joe Frankenstein. Still, other options include a happy hour Skype call with Graham Nolan, a 9x6 bristlehead sketch of any character of your choice by Nolan. Nolan is also selling some of his original art, including pinups of Adam's girlfriend, Erica, I can't pronounce her name, Nigeria, from the 1989's Amazing Heroes swimsuit edition. Other original art included a page from Detective Comics 713, including Batman and villain Gearhead. Finally, he's offering a page from Hawk World Annual Number 2 featuring Hawkman and Hawkwoman. The Chino's Indiegogo campaign has currently raised $26,375 from 400 backers. There are 7 days left to back the Chino. The next stretch goal unlocks at 40,000. Well, sounds interesting. Okay, so quick question. When it comes to writing scripts for artists, should a writer describe everything, including size of panel? I ask because I'm about to finish an anthology of stories, and I would like to make sure that the artist would feel comfortable with descriptions. I don't usually say the size of the panel, unless I feel it's going to be. If you feel that you need to have a wide angle, then I put a wide angle in. You know, like if you're describing, say, a scene, you know. But I usually let the artist do what they feel they need to do. I'll just put down panel 1, or page 1, panel 1. Because I'm an artist, I draw and stuff. Sometimes they'll see the panel, and I'll say, well, we need a wide panel here, or something like that. But that's what I usually put in, you know. Just do it like a regular movie script, you know. but I wouldn't say it's a square box or something like that. Just just say panel 1, and then let them flow with that. And if you can't come up with it and you don't feel it's going to work in there, you can't visualize it. Let the artist do that. Then you'll come back with a surprise that way. Now, hopefully, I answered that good enough for you there, Sean. Well, let's see what else is on here. That might be interesting. There's supposed to be a rumor there's supposed to be a new actress for Batwoman. It says here, new rumors provide details on Batwoman's Ryan Wyder, showrunner, address Kate Kane's fate in season 2. Some details about the new Batwoman, rumored to be named Ryan Wyder, Wilder, is emerging, and the CWs may have an actress in mind. Be warned if you care, because there are potential heavy spoilers. I don't watch the show, so I don't really care. I don't know if you guys care, but I'll read it through. Tape of the edition leaked out. With it, the script, which someone anonymous posted to 4chan. The post, despite of being archived, can still be revived. According to the leak, Wyder steals the Batsuit after Kane dies. It doesn't tell how Kate supposedly kicks it, or how she comes into contact with Wyder. The young upstart then proves herself to be an asset to the Bat Team, thus worthy of carrying on the legendary of Batwoman, the appointed paragon of courage. She ends up helping the Bat Team, and they decide to let her take the mantle and keep Kate's legacy alive, says the Pope. While there's connection to Batwoman, or rather his rogues, while there's connection to Batman, or rather his rogues, is through Scarecrow, who killed her mother when she was a child. Driven by revenge, she takes the Batsuit so she can have the tools to kill Jonathan Crane. Before proving herself, Luke finds Ryan and tries to get the suit back. Ryan then explains her vendetta against Crane. The following dialogue allegedly comes from the scene where that unfolds. Luke: hello? Ryan: it's me. Luke: yes, you're literally the only person in this parking lot. You have something that belongs to us. Ryan: I don't have much, so you're going to have to be specific. Luke: Batwoman's suit. And save whatever story you're going to make up. The suit is basically a computer, and we traced its GPS here, where you are the only person around, Miss. Ryan Wyler. Ryan: and who do I have the pleasure of integrating by? Luke: just gives us the suit. Ryan: I don't even know who you are. Luke: I'm part of the team. Ryan: wait, there was a whole team? Luke: look, the suit is meant for someone specific, somebody worthy of wearing it. No offense, but you're not that person. Ryan: you mean I'm not Kate Kane? Yeah, I know. I saw the whole thing. Put 2 and 2 together. Look, I'm sorry for everything. Luke: Kate was our friend. We're not about to let someone undo all the good that she has done for the city by rewarding her legacy. Ryan: I am not trying to rewrite it. I am trying to finish it. Luke, it's finished. The story is over. Ryan, not for me or for Jonathan Crane. Luke, what? Ryan, Jonathan Crane killed my mother, and he's out there somewhere, just getting away with it. Like my mom's life didn't matter? Luke, I'm really sorry about your mom, but that suit means a lot to us. Ryan, my mom died in my arms, and the only way I have been able to get my ass out of bed in the morning is to lie to myself and say that one day I'll be strong enough to ruin his life the same way that he has ruined mine. You want to know what that suit means to me? It means that I don't have to lie anymore. Now you can fight me for it, which I promise you will end badly for both of us, or you can have it back when Crane is dead. The next scene sees Ryan in action for the first time and being coached by Luke and Mary from the Batcave over the Cowl's communication system. Ryan clearly is running when she should be walking. I'm not going to read any more of that, but basically they got a new actress that's going to be playing her. So I don't know how they're going to kill Kate Kane, because they've already quit her. She's already quit. So okay, so you're an extra on that one, are you? Okay. I watched the first episode, and yeah, I didn't really like it. So I didn't like her coming into the Batcave and stealing the Batcave and kind of stealing the Batsuit and stuff like that. So yeah. So have you? I don't think have you mentioned that you've been. Have you been any episodes that we can probably see you on that one, Sean, in Batwoman? You know, kind of go, oh, there's Sean. I see him there. You know, in the background. So yeah, yeah, I heard stories about them replacing her anyway with another actress. I guess they're gonna have somebody else in the costume um, as she gets killed or something, and that other person takes over the. I should talk to somebody else than Ruby Rose. So it looks like they're talking about doing a Gargoyles cartoon. It says they're Marina Skirtsits, Deanna Troy, the one that plays Deanna Troy, um, is. If I see her name come up, I'm just going to say Deanna Troy, because it's easier for me to say her name that way. So, okay, the idea of a working actress wishing to continue acting isn't world shattering. I'll give you that. But a big deal when there's a chance that one of those acting roles happen to be within Gargoyles franchise, for me anyway. And if you don't like Gargoyles, then I don't like you. Recently, during an interview with TrekMovie.com, Deanna Troy, the actress, and the Next Generation, Star Trek: The Next Generation, Voyager, Enterprise, and several movies, talked about her experience while reprising the role for CBS All Access Picard series. That was another series I didn't really like. And she says here, I was torn about this. On one hand, I was happy that I didn't have to wear a spacesuit. On the other hand, I felt that if things got bad, I couldn't help win the day. Certus explains about returning to the Trek universe. I was really jealous that Jonathan got to be on a spaceship again. Though the spacesuit question still applies. Hopefully, I'll be on Picard again, as I had such a good time there the first time. Certus would go on to elaborate on other beloved projects that she'd like to bring back to life, including her role as Gargoyles. Demona. The rumors that the Gargoyles I'm putting out there, Jordan Peele has kind of dropped the ball, but that's okay because now it's back on Disney Plus, and the youngsters are finding it again. Gargoyles is getting really popular. I have to be honest, I would love to resuscitate Demina. Personally, so would I. Gargoyles hold a special place in my fandom's heart. It having so much to do with Star Trek doesn't help either. Certus Demona was almost as important to the series as its main protagonist, Goliath. While he and the surviving members of the clan slept for a millennium, Demona had to live it out, hiding in the shadows and creating scores of enemies that would return to haunt her and the clan in the present. The Disney afternoon block of shows had an amazing run and gave us some legendary series, but none more impressive than the important of Gargoyles. In terms of American breed animation, it's blazed path for animation projects to be taken seriously and not seen as kid stuff. Series like Gargoyles, Batman the Animated Series, and X-Men the Animated Series made it possible for shows like Avatar, The Last Airbender, Avatar. Yeah, I think I said that right. The Last Airbender, Justice League, and a number of others to exist. What do you think of Marina returning for a Gargoyles sequel series? Yeah, I watched. Oh, you were chased by bats. Is that the first? Is that the first? Was that the first season? What episode was that? Because I think I stopped watching it after one. I just it wasn't. It wasn't a show I liked. Give me a moment here. I gotta try to bring some more light over. But yeah, I tried to watch the others, and I watched a guy on YouTube, John Talks, and I was getting the reviews from him, and I could just tell the series was bad. He struggled to okay. You don't watch anything that you're appearing? I did an interview once on local news, and it was the longest time that I could cringe to watch myself on video. I didn't like the way I talked. It sounded like I mumbled too much. I think I was really super nervous about being on television, and I think it was running through my head how many thousands of people, wouldn't be millions, because I don't know how many people. We weren't in the millions here in the Kitchener, Cambridge area, but whoever was watching, I was kind of, I think it was conscious in my mind. as I was getting interviewed. You know, you had this huge, big, hunking camera that this guy had on his shoulder, and that was timid enough to look at, you know. And then you had the microphone. I think they attached a little mic to my shirt collar, and then they had me do some drawing. They were hoping I have a drawing on the table, but I had nothing at the time, so I had to grab some that was already done, and some that had some pencil shading on it, and so I had to do that. And then, yeah, if you ever get to find me on the video, you'll see one of these on my wrist. Now, this is not the exact one I had on my wrist in the video. The other one got wrecked. I took it into Walmart, and the girl didn't know how to change the battery in it, and ended up bending the pins in it. And the manager said to give them one that was comparable to that one, and they had this one. This one on display is a Casio data watch, and I was keeping these. I like these because you could keep phone numbers in them, and my old one, this one, I believe holds 150 phone numbers. I think the other one had 75, and so I got a pretty good deal on it because it had international time and stuff like that. But yeah, I had a watch like that when I was being interviewed on the local news. Just a model down. So, but this one here has been the longest I've had it. This is 20 years old. Now you can see the time on there. Now it says 3:10, but my computer says 3:08. So I think my watch might be a little bit fast. Oh, we had somebody who said hello, and I didn't see him. Grits and Guts from YouTube. Oh, thank you for joining. Sorry you didn't see that. It just I guess I've been reading too much stuff, and I'm not looking at my screen. I'm opening up other tabs. So thank you, Grits and Guts, for joining. I hope you hit that like button in the YouTube and join the YouTube channel. And make sure you hit the notifications so you can get any updates. I do this every day at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Probably tomorrow I won't be doing it. I'll be out for the day. I might have some set up earlier. And you're hoping to have a convention, go to convention, Sean, in 2021. Yeah, let's hope. Well, oh, you're drawing. What are you drawing there, Grits and Guts? Is that do you have a channel as well, or? Yeah, Sean. Yeah, I'm going to try to get to some conventions next year too. Trying to get Max Burger out. Let's see. Yeah. Kickstarter's coming soon. Not the Kickstarter. Sorry. The Indiegogo. I'm not going back to Kickstarter ever again. Are you doing a zombie scene where a horse rider is leading? A horse rider is leading zombies towards another group of soldiers. Cool. Is it a regular book that you're doing, Grits and Guts? Oh, okay. So you're just doing it for art. So when you're listening, I do that when I'm drawing too. I'll throw somebody on. I'll usually listen to Gary, or I listen to that's Gary from Neurotic, or I'll listen to Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I usually put on something that's long. So if they're long-winded, like Gary, well, not saying Gary's long-winded, but Gary has long videos, so I can be sitting for a couple hours and listening to Gary speak. Gary has some really interesting stuff on his channel. Star Wars Girl, I throw her on once in a while. Or anything I can find that's at least more than at least 15 minutes, longer than 15, or half an hour long, or longer, so I can listen while I'm drawing as well. A graphic novel, that's cool. So what conventions again, Sean, that you are planning on going to for next year if the everything starts opening up? Are you Grits and Guts? Are you talking about my wall here? Yeah, I got a couple of John Byrne pages back here right behind me. One's from Fantastic Four, and the other one is, I'm not sure where that one's from. I think it might be a Marvel 1 and Marvel 2 and 1 or something like that. It does have, I think her character's name is Thundra or something. I bought it at a comic book store in Kitchener over. Yeah, I'll get some more up soon. I got at least 1, 2, 3, 4 pages to hang up, which I've been procrastinating and not doing that. So, so Sean, you're going to go to Thundercats, which that drawing order over here. No, it's Thundra or something like that. She's a big Amazon from another dimension. Trying to see if I can find her name. Thundra, I think it's. Yeah, it's Thundra. That's in Marvel Comics. She's aligned with Fantastic Four. I just kind of like the page because it was a John Byrne and Joe Sinnott. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Did the inking. I love Joe. Well, I used to call him Sinnott, but I loved his inking style. I didn't buy it because of John Byrne. I bought it because of Sinnott's inking work on it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Apparently, she's walking down. It says here, meanwhile, miles to the south on the decaying Lower East Side of Manhattan. So I guess back in the 80s, the 70s, 80s, I guess it was decaying in Manhattan. So, but yeah, I like that page. I think I only paid maybe $15 for it. Um, and the other page there, I was telling the story last week. There's a John Byrne Fantastic Four next to it with a thing on the Beyonder world. And the thing is in a carnival trailer or something, like one of those gypsies trailers kind of thing. Oh yeah, I have comics. Yeah, I write and draw my own comics. Um, I collect comics. I write and draw comics. Um, I did a comic book called Max Burger. Trying to see if I can find a copy around somewhere. Do have a copy? Yeah, I do have a copy right here. This is the comic book I produced in 1989. This is the cover, which is the opening scene of the of this live stream. So I do all kinds of comic books. I collect, read comic books. Night Shadows on the comic book. And this one, it's about a mutant hamburger private investigator who was born from a microwave explosion 17 years ago. Thanks, Grits and Guts. This is one of the. I am actually currently redrawing it, so I've got 43 pages done. This originally was 24 pages, printed on newsprint. Back in 1989. Let me see. I do have a character that appears in the shadows, which is Max's brother, which is he's half hamburger, half cyborg. But he only appears in in the new artwork, the new redesign of the book. So he's up here in the top, looking over at Max. So yeah, it takes place at night all the time, and it's always snowing. I don't know why I put snow in. And then I have too many Americans thinking that Canada is always cold. Yeah, I like absorbing information too as I work. Sometimes I don't. When I'm drawing, it gets processed later on. I normally, when I'm drawing, because my drawing table is right over here behind me with a bright light behind, that well, shadows are good because then you can sometimes you can cover anatomy issues or faces. You can't draw faces, you know. Look at Todd McFarlane. He can't draw anatomy too well, so that's why he draws people with capes, so he can hide the anatomy over, you know. But yeah, I like shadows. I like putting shadows in the a lot in the books. Well, since it's going to be nighttime, and you're going to have a lot of shadows. Do a lot of cross hatching too. See, I draw terrible, ugly, naked women. Yeah, you can always find a way. What you have to do is improve. Just yeah. So there is ways to way. So find ways. Yeah, there is ways to get around it. Just get better at it. Just draw more. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So I do. I'm working on a sewer scene right now. The only thing is I'm having some problems is drawing water in the sewers, trying to think of how that water reflects in that kind of different lighting. Yeah, I think when I do the third issue, I think I'm going to take the snow away, because I don't want people thinking that Canada is always snowing all the time. I'm not sure where you're from, if you're in the United States or, but a lot of people think that we live in igloos up here in Canada. Oh, cool. When I went to redraw that issue I showed you there, I had to redraw Bridge. At the time when I drew the book, I didn't have any internet at the time. Oh, you're from MA in the United States, so you probably get a bit of snow, right? But, so I couldn't draw a bridge. I didn't know what the bridge looked like. That my character comes from a city called Ottawa, which is up in up north, and he drives across this bridge called the Alexandria, and so I had no references. Oh, your mom was born in New Brunswick, so you got some Canadian blood in you, and yeah. So I drew an explosion like this. You get better as you get along, as you do more stuff. So I had him coming off the bridge like this, and then into the water. But I went and redrew this one, and I drew a double page spread with him flying off the bridge, and you could see all the ice sticking out of the ground. I should get up. I can kind of show you guys, but I have to step away from the computer for a second. It's in another room. I'll go and get it, and I'll show you guys. This is the new revised drawing. Let's see if I can get it all in there. So this is him coming off the bridge right here. So you can see how much my art has improved compared to that first issue. Everything below is ice icebergs, little icebergs, and they look like headstones. Which, when I was drawing them, I never thought of that. When I finished thinking, and people were going, "Well, that looks like headstones." Thanks, Sean. Yeah. So yeah. Now that artwork, scanned it in. I did, some touching up. I added some more snowflakes coming down and stuff like that. But yeah, I drew that on a Grits and Guts. Yeah, I did draw that on the drafting table here behind me. The drafting table behind me is 35 years old, so I've had it for a long time. So yeah, all my artwork is on there. I'll probably have to replace it soon. I have a little. There's a little rubber seal on it. That's one of them's broken off, and I can't find one to put it back on. And there's some dents and stuff underneath. It's still fairly stable. It's the biggest table that I've found. I think I paid $300 for that when I got it. It's been moved to 4 different locations. Well, first was my first home, and then I had a studio for a while, a 500 square foot studio, which I really miss. I had a beautiful skylight. Batman had just come out just before that. So you love telling stories with scenes. All this concept I started working on tells a story about the nature of the scenes of subjects. Cool. Yeah, I like telling stories with scenes too. I've been playing a lot with double page spreads and stuff. I've been finding that I'll throw I did one with a black background with 3 panels on it, and it instead of doing the one I had in the book, it combined a couple of the panels into a double page spread, and then the black in the background just kind of brought out the darkness of the character. So I had a lot of fun doing that first issue and redrawing it all over again. And then I'm in the process of doing the 3rd issue. So Grits and Guts, if you want to check out a video I did, an interview on a local here in Cambridge, Kitchener area. If you search out Max Burger PI, you'll be able to find a video on YouTube. I sent off 400 copies to the Persian Gulf in 1990. I signed all 400 copies and sent them off to the Canadian soldiers that were fighting overseas. And that got me on the news. And I've had several newspaper interviews and stuff like that. There isn't really any I think, the advantages, I think, there is advantages of making a comic book over a graphic novel. I like graphic novels a lot better. You can spend more time working on graphic novels than comic books. You can spend more time on it than comic books. If you're doing a comic book every month, you have to get like Dave Sim, because I don't know if you know who Dave Sim is. Dave Sim is a comic book creator who did a book called Cerberus the Aardvark. and he he produced 300 comic books. But his philosophy was that doing the comic book was an 9 to 5 job. So you come into work, you work 9 to 5, and you go home. Um, but I don't like that idea because you're always constantly working. I don't, you're going to have to get several issues ahead of schedule. Um, now with the internet, you don't have to rely on distributors. You can go to Indiegogo, you can go to Kickstarter, um, and sell your stuff that way. But doing a graphic novel, I really think it has a better advantage. You can get it out to bookstores, and then you can take your time putting it together. So, that's my look at it, because I don't want to do. I really don't want to do a monthly book. I want to bring it out the best product I can, even if it takes 6 months to a year to do it. But give them more pages than a comic book, because Dave used to do 20 pages a month for his book, and then he'd do the editorials and letter pages and stuff like that. So you're probably looking at a 32-page comic book by the time he, put some ads in or stuff like that. Yeah, there's more writing involved too, and if you're doing the artwork, did you get to work on the work on the art? The thing I found, like when I was doing the redrawing of Max, um, I had ended up working other jobs, um, factory jobs. I hate working factory. I worked in several jobs that were very dirty and dangerous and stuff like that. But I'm getting more into writing. I'm going to try to do at least most of the I'm going to do. This book is 43 pages. The first issue, the redraw. Second issue has already been done. I'm just keeping the artwork from the original drawing I did. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to color it. I'm going to leave the first issue in black and white. Second one's going to be in color. Third one is going to be black and white, maybe with one or two colors in it, or maybe just one color, the color red, because the Mad Burger's eyes are red, and there's some blood in it. And then there's a Max Burger will be in half the third book. It won't be full of his book, and 4 and 5 will be origin stories. And then I think that might be it for Max, but I've got other projects I'm working on. I've got some superhero stuff I'm working on. I got a vampire story I'm working on. I've got a science fiction superhero, and a kind of superhero, kind of futuristic kind of storyline. So how big is your Grit and Guts? How big is your how big did you say your graphic novel is going to be, or your book? Yeah, yeah, the one color I just thought it might make it stand out if it's a black and white book, especially if the character's evil. Now, quite a few years back, I did a an Ashcan because I was hoping to get the third issue out a long time ago, and never it came about. But I did a 3-part miniseries called the Mad 2992, which took place in the future, where the Earth is split into two halves, and my evil hamburger character has been frozen for over 900 years, and he's been found buried underneath the earth, and he has a bunch of followers. So your main one is the main zombie graphic novel. So here's some inside. Now, I was playing with some stuff here. I printed about a bunch of these different ones. Um, I did about 25 of these. I hand painted 25 of these, all individually colored. So not every page had the same color for to do that. And you so you want to start small and then go bigger and bigger like J.K. Rowling's did. Yeah, that concept is kind of neat. The hero doesn't survive, the villain survives. But that wasn't going to come out till he was introduced fully in the third issue. So I've got 3 issues already done. They're just sitting in my portfolio case. So once I get this one redrawn for number 3, and then I can pile them together. So it'll be a nice little 60-page graphic novel. Doesn't make any sense, the story. I think I got the idea from Kevin Eastman. There was a book called Melting Pot. And so we read the book, and I was not really you call it Zombie Apocalypse meets Final Dynasty. Nice. So so I got the idea from Kevin Eastman from his Melting Pot. But when I read the Melting Pot, I imagined the story being a lot different from the description of what he was describing in the ads. And when I got the book, I was like going, ugh, it's really not that good. So I decided I'll take my character and do it that way. And Sean, you're writing you said you're writing an action about a hitman who has a contract on his head. Nice. Yeah, so we can blame this one on Kevin Eastman, the Mad 2992. There is ash cans floating around. I sold a whole bunch of black and white ones. I did sell some color ones. They were $25 at the time. But the black and white ash can versions, I think I might have done 50 to 100 copies of those, maybe. So Grits and Guts says that's badass, Sean. So there is some of those floating around in the States, because I was in Chicago, and I sold a whole bunch of those. Yeah, this. Yeah, I got to work on that. I was working on some of it this morning, and I did some artwork this morning. Put some blacks down. I put some lines on some cement, trying to give it the weathered look on cement and stuff like that. So let me see if I can turn my camera around now. See if I can let you guys see what I'm working on. See if it's there's a bit of glare. Let's see if I can turn the light over that way a bit. Yeah, it's still washing it out too much. Yeah, it's hard to see it. But that's my workout studio there. Can go around the room a little bit, show you the studio. I haven't seen it. There's all my art supplies. These are some posters I have up on the wall behind me. They're all the Wonder Woman and the Superman are tins. Right below me is an old TV that I use to watch TV shows and stuff. And this here in front is some of my action figures. I've got a Mighty Wallet, Captain Canuck up there. I've got a Spawn action figure, a Wonder Woman figure, and there's my name in Chinese. And I got a little Spider-Man stand there. I got a little California raisin up there. Wonder Woman model kit. So yeah, that's basically my. You like the table, do you? And the chair is antique too. I don't know where I got it from. It was in the house I was at. I was renting a house, and it was in there, so I claimed it as my drafting table. It needs to be reholstered. I had to have the wheels replaced. A couple of the wheels broke on it. But yeah. Yeah, the table's really nice. You can put lots of. Let me just see if I can get light back here again. Turn that around. And yeah, Spawn is cool. I bought that in Chicago. Yeah, I went up and it's the pizza face Spawn or some. So I've never opened that one. I used to try to draw every person in a crowd. Yeah, sometimes it's a little hard to do that. Yeah. And you're learning how to suggest things in the background right now. Yeah, I find as I get older, my eyes are not as sharp as they used to be. So details are getting a little harder for me to do. Do I have any cool tips for drawing big crowds in the dark? Like how dark? Because you can just show eyeballs. Yeah, Matrix is kind of fun to watch. Spawn I couldn't get into the comic book. I think I've talked to Sean about that before. It's completely black. You can try silhouettes, I guess. But you don't want white figures, do you? And a black background. So there's not going to be any details like it says inside, outside. I just any kind of lighting at all. If you're going to do a pitch black, then you're going to have to probably just do word balloons. Are you old enough to remember Marvel did an editorial, assistant editorial publication where all the regular editors went so it's on the edge of a city. So there's not going to be any lights and stuff like that. So when I did the Mad Burger on the roof, there was lights coming from the other buildings. So there's a little bit of light. You have to figure out what kind of lighting you have in that scene to illuminate those people. If you have nothing, then it's so you're just doing silhouettes. Well, if you put white outlines around them, you might be able to get away with it. Like just draw like a silhouette instead of white. Have it black and then have a white line around it to indicate the form. There's a book I can recommend for you to go and get. I do have it here on my bookshelf. I'm not too fussy about the artist's style, but if you get this one called Dynamic Light and Shade by Hogarth, Bern Hogarth. It will talk about light and dynamic light and shade. Right? He talks about different lighting and stuff like that. See, maybe this is what I was thinking that you were talking about. Doing the figures like this. Yeah, just inverse. Or something like this. Let's see. Like those people balancing there. Yeah, so yeah, inverse, yeah. So, look a lot of Frank Miller stuff. Go through his stuff too. For Sin City, because he uses a lot of black in his stuff. Yeah, so it's like a horde of zombies way in the background in the dark. Yeah, so to get some ideas, just go and look some at other artists' stuff. Let's see. Like there's a castle in the background. So yeah, I don't know how much this book is. I got this a long time ago. So here's one. Let's see if I can get it over. There's two people on the beach up there. You don't want to make it dramatic enough that people can figure out what it is. To make it dramatic, and you want it to have people know what's going on too. I'm just trying to see if I can find some more examples for you. You're gonna have if there's moonlight, you're gonna have to experiment with that. Yeah. What did I pay for? Trying to see where I paid for this. How much I paid for this? Apparently, I don't have the price on this anymore. I probably paid about 25 to 30 bucks when I got the book. Probably about $35 maybe. But yeah, I definitely would say go and get this book, and then that would that might be able to help you out. And like definitely Frank Miller stuff. Definitely Frank Miller's. Here are some. Look at the cats. Stuff like this. So yeah, best thing is to go out and buy books. That's where I learn a lot of stuff from. Um, went through for years about you want to get books on shadow art. Yeah. Frank Miller does a lot of that. He just reverses the shadow into white. But Sean, you always like black and white noir. Yeah. That's the simplest stuff to do, because that's what the original artwork is when for comic books is anyway, black and white, and then they put color on through the colorists and stuff like that. Back in the past, it used to be colored with Dr. Martin's dyes, which I have a whole box full of Dr. Martin dyes down here that I have never used. I may get rid of them because they're sitting on my trying to think of the name of that I keep all my pens and stuff on my little cart. But I got a box of them. Somebody giving me a bunch of Dr. Martin's dyes a long time ago. So I just haven't never used them. Using computer a lot, so I use programs like Painter. Use a program called Painter 7, and I downloaded Painter 2020, and I'm going to be trying Clip Studio and see how I like that. Now I've been talked about doing when I launch my Indiegogo campaign for Max Burger. I was told that I should do a stretch goal of doing the book in color, but I'm kind of leery about doing it in color because it was made for black and white. I had black and white in my mind, and it's kind of like Sin City. Sin City is in black and white, so it's kind of going back to the harping of the old Bogart movies and stuff. Now, Grits and Guts, if for figuring that you need to help with figures, I would recommend getting this book. Figure Drawing by Anders Loom. It's a book from the 1930s. So I originally got a book like this from a friend. A lot of it got nude pictures in it. I really don't want to put anything here to offend anybody. Trying to find some that's not offensive. But you have to learn how to draw the human figure, he says in here, without okay, here's some headshots. But no, but if you want to get better at anatomy, get this book. It will greatly yeah, I know it's your book is a zombie, but my contents on here, I'm trying to keep it at least children friendly. Yeah, thanks, Sean. Yeah, so so there's some books there that you can check out. The Marvel Way, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, is another book to get that will help. There's a Stan Lee book out, How to Draw Comics. Now, there were some books I bought in the past. Well, here's another book. You might want to check out works by Will Eisner, too. I don't know if you heard of Will Eisner. This is another book to get. It is... he was a brilliant cartoonist from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. He did a book called The Spirit. I'm trying to find one page here that he helps you compose a page. Let's see, stuff like this. Yeah, and the book is I think it's come from Kitchen Sink. U.S. price is $22.99 at the time I bought this, and Canadian was $32.99. So we're $10 more to pay for stuff like that up here. That's usually when I go into Kickstarters or crowdfunding sites to back stuff, and I kind of go and look at the price because it's kind of I don't want to pay for that. I do have some other magazines here, but I don't know where I put them. I probably didn't put them back where they belonged. But yeah, this might be able to help you out with drawing. And it might give you some ideas too. It's always good to seek out other books. It is amazing what you can do with black and white. I've seen a lot of stuff that Frank Miller did that surprised me. What you can do with black and white. And, but if you're definitely going to get the stuff for black and white, get the Dynamic Light and Shade by Hogarth. Get his book. He's got several other books that he's done as well. which is on the back of here. How to draw hands and stuff like that. His figure drawings are a little I find his figures are a little stiff and too out of fashion kind of thing. He used to draw Tarzan back in the 30s or 40s or something like that, or 50s. So people, I'm going to call this live stream an end here. I've been on for a couple hours. I usually do 2 hours day. So I am going to take off. It's been a pleasure talking to both of you gentlemen. As always, Sean, with you as well. And Grits and Guts, I'm glad that you came and joined. I won't be on tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on tomorrow. I do have some stuff to do in the afternoon. So I might have one in the morning, but everybody have a good day. And, if you haven't liked, go ahead and smash the like button below. Yeah, you too, Sean. You take care. So if you're on YouTube, pound the smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Okay. So everybody take care, and we'll see you later on. Bye-bye.